Yes, guys, welcome to the Prem Predictions. As you can see, I'm joined by my dad today. We're predicting game week 15. Season's going very quick. Got a new background as well. Let's get into the first game. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get into the first game. First game is a Merseyside derby, Everton-Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, they are looking like they're destroying this league right now. Every single week they're winning the slot. They're cashing out, and Everton, they've won 4-0 in the week, which I was not expecting.
Yeah.
This will be a close one. This is the final derby of Goodison as well. I think it will be a close game. There's something in me is wanting to say a draw, but I just think Liverpool might. I feel like either it's a draw or Liverpool just going to turn up and batter them.
Depends, because I think Everton last game was it 4-0,
4-0, I think. Yeah.
So they're going into that game with a bit of confidence.
Yeah.
So I would think. Yeah, I still think Liverpool will probably win it but then again Everton are playing at home crowd. So it's a tough one. And Liverpool can't really afford to drop any more points.
Yeah, because Arsenal and Chelsea have closed the gap to 7 now after a week. This is going to be a close game, but I am going to say Liverpool are going to win this one. I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool, I think.
I'm going for 2-2.
Ooh, okay.
Score draw.
Villa Southampton is next. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff, and Southampton have been absolutely woeful. The game against us, architects of their own downfalls, mistakes, and Jack Stevens, what is he doing? Got sent off for pulling Cucurella's hair, and had to get another perm when he went home. And Villa got their first win in 7 games. Both teams off the back of a battering from Chelsea. So it'll be a tight game, but I think Villa win this one, 2-0.
Yeah, that's quite easy to predict, isn't it? Southampton are a good team, but they're just not good enough. And Villa have won the last game. They're back on track, and I probably expect them to win this one 3-1.
Yeah. Brentford. The only thing though with Southampton is the fact that they did go to Brighton and win, Brighton and get a draw, and they probably should have won that game. But
I just think Villa with the confidence of the last game, and then being at home as well. So their attack force is
Morgan Rogers
pretty prolific. So I would definitely go with Villa to win 3-1.
Brentford Newcastle. Now this one's a tough game to predict because Brentford, I believe Brentford have the best home form out of any other team in the Premier League this season. Up against Newcastle team, who are very hit and miss because game against Liverpool got a 3-3 draw. That was a great game, but then of course there are other results where they've drawn against Crystal Palace, and so that's the thing with Newcastle. They're very hard to predict. Brentford, at home, you usually know what you're going to get from Brentford at home. This is a tough one to predict, to be fair. I think Newcastle, they've got Callum Wilson back, but I just think Brentford, because Brentford are at home, I just think that Brentford are just gonna. I think Brentford will be a bit stronger here, and I'm gonna go for 2-1 Brentford here.
Brentford lost the last game, didn't it?
Yeah.
Lost the last game. Newcastle lost against Palace. Then drew against Liverpool.
Yeah.
So
I think it was a draw against Palace, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a draw against Palace as well. Yeah.
They should have won that game, but Palace came back.
Yeah.
In terms of what's the name, Brentford, they lost the last game. They're obviously looking to bounce back. But Newcastle's got a bit of confidence by drawing with Liverpool. They could have won that game as well.
But
2-2.
then also lost to West Ham at home, so it's so hard to
It's a strange one. So I'm going for a draw, score draw, 2-2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 3-1 Brentford. Crystal Palace Man City. Now this one is a tough game to predict because Crystal Palace, they started the season very badly, but they're starting to gain a few points. Man City, now then they've 7 defeats in a row. They've finally got a win against Forest. Kevin De Bruyne's back. Kevin De Bruyne was unbelievable, definitely man of the match. And I think he's such a good player, and I think City have missed him, and I think he does go under the radar a bit as a massive loss. So I think a lot of people talk about Rodri and Kovacic. I don't think enough people talk about Kevin De Bruyne. I've got him in my team this week, and I've actually captained him. I think Man City. I just think Man City. They're gonna start because it's December now. It's time for their annual run. They're time for their annual 30-game unbeaten run. But I think Man City are going to win this 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, depends. Depends on, obviously, they've got the confidence back. Rodri's still not there, and Kovacic's not back. They're still quite vulnerable in midfield, but because De Bruyne is back on form, and then, it's going to be, it's not as straightforward as you think, but I would probably expect City to win, but wouldn't be surprised if Palace get a draw. I would probably go with a 2-1 win, Man City.
Yeah. This is the 5:31, Man United versus Nottingham Forest. Now, this is one of them games where I can't predict, I don't know how to predict this game. This is a tough game to predict again because, Man United. How do you predict Man United? It's impossible.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm a Man U supporter.
Yeah.
So it's not a tough one.
Obviously, shirts.
We lost to Arsenal at Stoke FC.
Yeah.
We lost to Arsenal, but I think there's a lot of progress in terms of the new management. He's trying out the team. I would expect a home win. I know Forest are doing well, but they lost to Man City, but they're normally quite well. But I do expect United to beat Forest 3-1.
Okay, and this one is where, look, for some, I don't know, because the thing is, right, with Nottingham Forest, I'll start with Man United actually. Now again, in the Arsenal game, Man United in the first half, I thought they were very good. They looked very resilient. They looked resilient. They stopped Arsenal from playing. Arsenal didn't get much out of that first half. In the second half, really, I think with the 2 goals from the corners, because the first goal was 5 minutes into the second half, which really we didn't really see Man United perform as in something that they've got a draw or they can get something out. They can get a win in this game. Arsenal get the goal from the corner, and then. They get another goal from a corner, and that's I think that's what cost Man United the game. But he's trying out new players. I do think there is an improvement. I think Ten Hag's team, well, God knows how bad that could have been. But but with Forest, it's a tough one because Forest away from home, Forest are stronger away from home than at home, because obviously they went to Liverpool and beat them. Came to Stamford Bridge and got a draw. They're also tough teams to predict, but I'm going to say 3-2 to Man United here. I just think that Man United, it will be one of them back and forth kind of games, but I just think Man United, with Amorim, with the home crowd, I just think United are going to get the job done. I'm going to go for 3-2 United, which means we're on to Sunday. Fulham versus Arsenal. Now, the last time this happened, the last time this game was played, this was on New Year's Eve, and Fulham beat Arsenal 2-1. Now, a lot of people talk about Arsenal title race last year with Villa, the one that cost them, but also December was a terrible month for Arsenal. They had an absolute terrible month for Arsenal. They lost to West Ham. They got knocked out of the Carabao Cup in that month. They obviously lost to Fulham, draw against Liverpool. And Fulham are playing really good football at the moment. Obviously, I hate to say it as a Chelsea fan, but they are playing really good football. Smith Rowe's getting a lot of game time there, and he's playing really well. Raul Jimenez, Iwobi, they've got a really good team for them. But however, Arsenal with their set pieces, they're looking back at the moment. With Erdegaard back fit.
Yeah. Arsenal are back on form, isn't it? Obviously, like I said, they couldn't beat United. They couldn't beat us at all. I was a bit frustrated with that result, but they got their momentum.
Yeah.
If you stop them from playing, they're gonna score in corners. So they've kind of found it themselves with Plan B.
And that's the best thing with having set pieces with players like Gabriel.
Yeah.
Even with Gabriel missing, they still find
They
a way
still
from set
find,
pieces.
they've found a Plan B in terms of if you stop them from playing football, Odegaard and Saka, then they've got other Plan B, which is corners
Or
and
set pieces and that.
and it looks like right now not many teams can stop them from scoring from. So yeah, but it's going to be a difficult one because Fulham. Don't underestimate Fulham. I do think Arsenal will win 2-1, but I would not be surprised if they get a draw.
Yeah, but yeah, backing up basically what you just said about Arsenal, and not a lot of teams are going to be able to stop Arsenal, but Fulham are not one of them teams. I'm going 2-1 Fulham here. I think Fulham are going to beat them. Ipswich versus Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth have beaten Man City, Tottenham this year, Arsenal. They're a very, very strong team, but they lost to Brighton. Like, honestly, the inconsistency with those teams in this league. Ipswich, they sort of under-deliver every single time. I think, they're quite. I think a lot of people think of them quite similarly to Luton. Last season, with Luton Town coming in the Premier League, every time the team went to Kenilworth Road, they got terrorised. Man United had a tough game there, still won. We had a very tough game there. We're 3-0 up cruising, and they nearly come back. Liverpool as well, but I think Ipswich. I think a lot of people expect the same from Ipswich. Their surprise package have come back up, but they've really been underwhelming. I think there've been a few, lights at the end of the tunnel. I think Delap, Hutchinson, they've been really good this season. But Bournemouth, I just think Bournemouth are gonna. I think Bournemouth will get the result here. I'm gonna go for a 3-0 win for Bournemouth.
Straightforward for me. It's like the newly promoted team, is it?
Yeah.
Was Bournemouth here last season?
Yeah, Bournemouth was last season. Yes.
They're playing really well. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for me. I think I'm gonna go with a draw, 2-2.
Leicester City versus Brighton.
Ooh.
This is a very tough game to predict because Brighton, they are playing very well at the moment. Despite of course losing 3-1 against Fulham last night, at the time of recording this, but Brighton have got a very strong team there, but they are very open at the back. And Leicester away is kind of tough now because Leicester, I think, are slowly getting used to the pace of the Premier League again. They're starting to pick up points, with their Pac-Man sponsor, they're starting to eat up the points. But I think that Leicester are I think there's a lot of good players in that Leicester team. Vardy's still the same player he was, 3-4 years ago. This will be a close one because I think this suits Leicester. So I think the way that Brighton play, Brighton want to hit you on the counter. Leicester aren't going to give them the counters out. Leicester not going to be able to dominate the game. Brighton are going to end up being the ones that are going to dominate the game, and that's where I think because Brighton are so open at the back, and Leicester City are very good on the counter attack. This will be a tough one for Brighton, and I'm going to say 1-0 Leicester.
Obviously, for me, Ruud van Nistelrooy, United legend. Their new manager bounce.
Yeah.
They've won the last game. Brighton, brilliant team. Like you just said, they counter attack because they play at high line, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. Really, really tough. But I'm gonna go for a draw again. 2-2.
Tottenham versus Chelsea. Now, for me personally, I think if you look at the history, I think you could argue that Tottenham and Chelsea is a more hateful game than Tottenham Arsenal. If you if you look at the history, because you had the Battle of the Bridge, you had that mad game last November, so many other occasions, that 2-2 couple seasons ago, with Tuchel and Conte, and that scrap. So this is gonna be an interesting game at Tottenham's ground. Is it too early to say that Big Ange is under pressure a little bit? I don't know with that. I just think Chelsea at the moment, we're playing really well. Singing Maresca's name, away at Southampton, playing such good football, and we've got, most players are on the bench are resting. And I want to see Philip Jorgensen start this game in goal. I thought it was great against Southampton. I think personally he should be number one ahead of Sanchez, but in this game will be a tough game because of Tottenham's crowd, obviously, and it's going to be a tough one. But this could be a very fiery one.
Derby.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I think Tottenham play a risky high line, and Chelsea's got some serious attacking players. This could be a really tricky one for Tottenham. I could see a draw, but at the same time I can see Chelsea winning 2-1. Just because of the high line. I don't know what it is, but Tottenham are too open in the back.
Because when you've got players like Palmer, Jackson, Mudryk, Neto, whatever running in behind, you're always going to have problems. And with Van der Ven injured, their two best centre backs are injured. Romero's injured, Van der Ven's injured. They've got Ben Davies and Dragusin at the back at the moment. And is that really going to be able to stop Chelsea? But they're very slow, to be honest, particularly Ben Davies. Dragusin's quick, but I think we're going to win this one. We're going to win this one 3-0. I think. Pretty confident about this one. And the final game on Monday night is West Ham versus Wolves. Now, West Ham winning away to Newcastle, but then losing to Leicester City. Really, really poor. They were poor against Leicester, absolutely poor. They let Leicester walk all over them. You can't let teams do that in the Prem. But then winning games beating Man United and winning against Newcastle. Obviously we were there, the United game. But I just think that West Ham are very inconsistent. But Wolves, do you know what I mean? They're not great starts for the season. Robbed against Man City, by the way. But then afterwards, I think that Wolves have they started picking up a bit, and then they got 2 massive wins, and then they've now lost another 2 games again. I still don't consider Wolves as a team that could get relegated, but we are in December now, and Wolves are still down there.
The bottom. O'Neill's getting quite a lot of abuse in the last game. It's a really strange one because they've got really good players. They play some good football, but for some reason they're always leaking goals. So that's a really tough one. And then West Ham, I'm surprised the manager isn't even sacked yet.
Yeah,
but he's probably getting sacked in the morning.
This is honestly the sack race. Like I said before, the Man United game, West Ham Man United. This game is honestly the sack race.
Yeah, I do believe one of them more than anything West Ham, because obviously they're playing at home. The pressure's on West Ham to win. The manager's probably gonna go, because if they lose this one to Wolves, who were struggling, West Ham, then the manager's gonna go. But I'm gonna go for a draw. Both gonna be cagey. Both gonna try to stop each other from winning the game. So I'm going with 3-3.
Ooh, 3-3. Okay. I think I'm gonna go for a draw as well. I'm gonna say 1-1. I just think they're both gonna cancel each other out. But honestly, I think the thing is, remember I said at the West Ham Man United game, this is a sack race. Whoever loses this game is gonna get sacked. and obviously Ten Hag lost it and he got sacked. You know, same thing could happen in this one. Lopetegui, yes, he's only been there for I think 4 or 5 months, and you know what I mean, West Ham. I don't know why they sacked David Moyes. That was honestly ridiculous. But I think Wolves. I just don't think Wolves are going to be able to go there and beat them. I can't say that Wolves in this form at the moment. I can't say that they're going to go to West Ham and beat them. And same with West Ham. So that's why I'm going 1-1 in this one. Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting week though. A lot of cracking games in there. But yeah, if you have enjoyed, make sure you click the like button and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit.
See ya.